Thank you. Hey, good morning, CSL. Killing it. My name's Jake. That's Yuri. That's Joe. And already on stage with the big fiddle, also known as a bass, is our wonderful, amazing guest artist today. Please give a warm 11 a.m. CSL welcome to Marina Christopher. She's going to lead us in the opening sing-along, so please sing along.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. You got it. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by, still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If they want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart every day. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Put a little love in your heart.
So let us center in that awareness and that love. I know that love that is already in my heart, that I'm open to that awareness, to that love expanding and growing and just moving and grooving each and every one of us today. I'm so grateful for this love that uplifts and inspires and motivates and moves me. It allows me to see the glory of each individuality of the people that are in front of me. And so I recognize and know that everywhere I go today, that this day is a day of love, that this day is a day of expansion. This day is a day where I am in alignment and integrity and congruence with that love. And it expresses through me and around me so I can see it in the people that I meet every day. Every moment in every way, I can see that infinite intelligence of love that moves through me and allows me to be blessed by being alive, by seeing aliveness around me, by knowing that I am here to do, to be, to express what I came here to be. And for that, I am deeply grateful. So that love grows and expands and touches and multiplies, and it surrounds itself around the earth right here and right now, so that each and every person who's feeling like they have lost their love, that they are feeling brokenhearted, that they feel that essence because we sent it to them and awakened them to their truth right here and right now. And so I know that this service has been divinely blessed. It is blessed between the message and the music and the community that's here, and I'm grateful to know that it is holy, it is good, and I am grateful, and so it is. Yes. Well, good morning. I'm Reverend Abigail, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm a minister here at the center, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here to Center for Spiritual Living Seattle. And all that we ask is that you stay open to transforming your entire life. That's all we ask. To the greatness of who you know yourself to be. So welcome home. You belong here. All of you online, you belong here. We're so grateful that you are a part of this great community. And if you are online, I just want you to know that we love it whenever you put your name in or you respond. We have a live moderator who's there to chat and interact and say hello to you. And you can fill out our connection card. If you're new to us for the first time, we have a link for the connection card. But also, for those of you who are here in person, we have a physical connection card that you can fill out, hand it to anybody with a name tag, or if you turn around and go back out of this room into the lobby to the right, there's a registration desk. You can hand it in over there. Let me let you know that the connection card, when you fill it out, we will send you a weekly email newsletter. The newsletter has great articles, information, and it also lets you know about the classes, the workshops, and the support groups that we have going on every week, which is a lot, so we don't mention it all on Sunday. But we do send a newsletter about it so you can find out more. In addition, there's this really great card here. It says support. We have 62 practitioners in this community who are excited and they love to pray. Love, love, love. So if you want prayer for anything challenging or anything blessing you, please take advantage of that. You can fill it out. You can put it in the prayer box in the back of this center, or we have live prayer after service, also online for all of you who are online. We want to pray for you because that's what we do, and we love it. Also, I want to let you know that today there is a free class happening after this service. Jay Thompson, who's in the room, raise your hand, Jay, raise your hand. He's delivering this great class. And it is about prayer. He's going to be using a prayer from Raymond Charles Barker and tapping. So the idea is that you could have your own prayer, but he'll give you a sample prayer to get the prayer awakened in your body to a deeper degree. So if you're interested in that, it's a free class happening at 12:30 downstairs in Classroom A. Everybody is welcome. It is only in person, so I guess everybody in person is welcome. If you're online, you can drive here if you can get here in time. Just want to let you know that. All right, well, I think that's it. I'm going to turn it over to Marina again. Thank you, Marina.
Thank you. Jake had this idea to share this song that I wrote. I wrote this next one, just let you know. I wrote it about 10 years ago when my good friend was just finished student teaching, and she was worried about going to teach. And I asked her specifically, what are you working on? She's like, I've been really trying to work on my self-love. So that turned into the title of this song, Self-Love. 1, 2, 3.
Feel like I'm falling behind, like I'm gonna quit before I reach that finish line. So I know that it must be time. Stop playing no mind games with yourself, no reason to do that. Be okay with yourself. You are at. Stop that won't help you none. Start valuing the opinion within you and start loving number one. I've been working on my self-love. 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 Stop being so hard on yourself and listen to your feelings. Make some time for yourself to do all the things you've been needing. Why you take yourself so seriously? You think you always got to be so right. Keeping yourself up at night. Well, I've been working on my self-love. 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 Well, I've been working on my self-love. I've been working on my self-love. Been working on my self-love. We're all trying to be better human beings. Not exactly sure just exactly what that means. Trying to hide behind our insecurities. I've been working on my self-love. I've been working on my self-love. I don't need nobody else's love. I've been working on my self-love. I help myself do some self-love. I've been working on my self-love. We gotta hear from Joe a little bit. Joe, you ready? Be wise, be brave, be strong and true, and love everyone, including you. Be wise, be brave, be strong and true, and love everyone, including you. I've been working on myself. Be brave, be strong and true. I've been working on myself. Love everyone, yes I have. I help myself do some self-love. Be brave, be strong and true. I've been working on myself. Love everyone, including you.
So, my talk today is From Belief to Embodiment, Living Your Spiritual Truth. So, I want you to close your eyes just for a second. I want you to imagine two versions of yourself. The first is you, as you are right now. And the second is you living in perfect alignment with your highest spiritual truth. Now, what's the difference between these two versions? And what would it take to bridge that gap? So open your eyes. That gap is exactly this is exactly what I'm here to talk about today. Between who you are now and who you know yourself to be, the potential that lies within. Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, it used to be called Religious Science, just so you know, but it's now called Centers for Spiritual Living. And he said that the divine plan is one of freedom. The divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Bondage is not God ordained. But how many of us truly live in freedom? Now, I know maybe some of you might have been brought up in a religion where that's not the same God you were taught. Maybe you were taught, like me, that God was a vicious God who had certain rules, and if you didn't abide by them, you'd be spited and, thrown to hell. And that does not sound like freedom to me. So I want to invite you to consider that God is a synonym for freedom. And when you are in most alignment with the Infinite One, now, I don't know about you, but I might have put myself in bondage because of my own limiting beliefs and thoughts. I grew up, I had society taught me ways of being. There's cultural things that I've learned. My family has its own way of being. There's ideas that were implanted in me because of my family, my history. Even my country has implanted different things in me that have caused me to limit myself, and where I have limiting beliefs. The good news is that we actually have a class called Beyond Limits, and we teach techniques and tools for you to transform those beliefs. If you haven't taken it yet, it's coming right up. But good news is on that is I'm actually going to teach you some of that today. Yay! Now, some of you may think, well, you know what? I really do want to be in alignment with my highest spiritual truth, but I'm just too old. There's too much. It's long gone. I had this idea. Now it's too late for me. I looked up a couple of people, famous people, who started their full expression later in life. Just so you know, Colonel Sanders, who founded Kentucky Fried Chicken, he was age 65 when he started that. Julia Child, she published her very first cookbook at age 49. Grandma Moses started painting seriously in her 70s. Samuel Jackson was in a lot of small roles, but he didn't make it big until Pulp Fiction, which he was 46 years old. So no matter who you are or whatever stage of life you are at, there's still hope for you. It's still possible. And I wonder how many of us are in alignment with who we profess to be. How many of us are in alignment with who we profess to be? First, I am a being of love. And yet in traffic, I curse the person who cut me off. And that politician, oh man, they should get it. I am a generous person. Yet, I give more to my coffee habit than I do to my spiritual community. I believe in work-life balance. Yet when I get a cold, I still go into work. Two of these examples are who I used to be, and one of them is still prevalent today for me. I'll let you know later on one of them. But I'm not here to shame or blame you. I'm not here to shame or blame you. That it's good to think about these things. It's good to self-reflect, to recognize where we're at where we could be, and to know that it's possible to get from here to the embodiment, to the fullness of who you know yourself to be. It's not only possible, it's probable if you're willing to do just a couple of simple things. I want to invite you to consider being in integrity and alignment with who you know yourself to be. I love those words. So integrity, it comes from the Latin word integratas, which means wholeness or completeness. It's derived from the adjective integer, which means whole or complete. And it suggests that a person of integrity is whole or complete in their character. They're not divided, they're not corrupted. They maintain their wholeness of who they are. It means consistency between one's values and their actions. Alignment. Alignment comes from the French word alignment. I'm sure it's pronounced in French in some way, but it's spelled almost the same way. So, but it comes from the word aligner, means to line up. Aligner is composed of a, which means two, and linge, which is line, ultimately from the Latin linea, which means a linen thread, a string, or a line. And mint means, the suffix mint means action. So it gives us a visual metaphor to line up, to line things up, things arranged and aligned. So for integrity, the root meaning of wholeness or completeness reinforms the idea that integrity means consistency, coherence. Our words match our actions. When I say I'm going to do something, I do that thing. For alignment, the idea of putting things in a row, of lining it up, it means that I am arranging my behavior to what I believe. My behavior is consistent with who I say I am. So I was like you. I was, 20, 24 years ago, sitting in the chairs just like you, Center for Spiritual Living San Jose. And David Bruner was my minister at the time. And he was given a talk on integrity. And he said, do you act and take actions in the way you profess yourself to be? He asked us to go home and look at our bank statement. And your bank statement will tell you what your priorities are, what's important to you. When I went home and looked at my bank statement, I noticed that I had a bigger priority for food and coffee over my spiritual learning and my spiritual community. So that was me in the past. And I realized I said, my spiritual experience is important to me, my community is important to me, but I was not practicing that. I wasn't in alignment with what I was professing. And so I'm not using that story to shame or blame, I'm just using that as an example of look at yourself. Look at what you spend money on. Everything you spend money on is a vote for that thing. What do you say your values are? What do you say your priorities are? And are you actually in alignment with those things? And if you are, you'll notice it's reflected in your bank account. It's reflected at where do you put your money? Where do you put your time? Where do you put your effort? What actions are you doing that are in alignment with that truth? Now, I wasn't in alignment, and so I shifted things. I started tithing, and things shifted. I started going to classes and spending money on my own spiritual enrichment. And amazing, I have had so much deeper connection and revelation and abundance that I didn't even know was possible because I had limiting beliefs when I was growing up that I didn't have enough. And it was impossible to do this thing. It was impossible for me to buy a house. It was impossible for me to, I don't know, actually way back then, like have 4 new tires on my car. I drove around with a donut for like 100 miles until my dad felt bad for me and gave me money to buy a new tire. But now things have shifted because I am in alignment, I'm in integrity. Now, there's always more work to be done for me. I'm always growing and expanding into that fuller, freer vision of myself. There's so much more possible. There's no end to the good that's possible. So I wonder, what's an area in your life where you feel a disconnect between your spiritual belief system and your daily experience? The key to bridging this gap is what psychologists call cognitive. It's a discomfort when we feel like our actions don't line up with our beliefs. And it can be a powerful catalyst to change. For me, authenticity is a huge, important expression for me. And when I was in high school, I didn't even know myself, I'll say, when I was in high school. I didn't know myself. And I found this out about myself because I was in Girl Scouts. And in my Girl Scout troop, we went on a trip, and all of the girls were boy crazy. They were all boy crazy, and they all had romance novels that they were reading secretly. And then they were like, oh my God, listen to this steamy sex scene. And it wasn't steamy for me. It took me a little while to get that I was a same gender loving woman, and I wasn't excited about that. And I didn't line up with how these girls were behaving. And I didn't even understand it until I figured it out. And once I figured it out and I started acting in alignment with the truth of my being, things started getting a lot easier for me. Now, it's not easy to come out in a society where that isn't necessarily it. And I feel so much better about myself because I'm not lying everywhere I go. You know, I tell people that I have a wife. I tell people that, I have a healthy relationship. And it just, I feel inside of myself that alignment, and it helps me to be more of who I came here to be. And it may be you're feeling that because you're an artist. Or maybe you're a practitioner and you haven't said yes yet because you love to pray. So there's something inside each and every one of us that is seeking to express in this life, that's seeking to come out. And there's a place everywhere where you belong. You belong here. You belong in community. You belong in a place where we can work with each other to see the gifts that we bring. It's like, toddlers, how they have the little, like a square peg. They're trying to put it in the round hole and it doesn't fit in the round hole. Well, there's a square hole where it fits. There's a place where everybody fits. And just because you're a square or a triangle or a circle, it doesn't mean that you don't belong. It means that there's a place where your own essence is here to express in the world. It's needed. It's a value. It's important that you come into alignment with your spiritual truth because we need you. Now, I have a little exercise for you to do. And I want to say here, Joe Dispenza, he's a neuroscientist, and he does all these tests on this very thing I'm talking about. He does all these tests. He has huge workshops, and he has people like connected, like neurons. They're not neurons. Well, they're connected to their neurons. I don't know what it's called, but they have things connected to people's brains as he does these exercises. And he monitors the brain's responses to different exercises. And what he says is that consistent mental visualization can actually rewire our brains, creating new neural pathways that support our desired state of being. He says the neurons that fire together wire together. And in Beyond Limits, we teach, just like if you were looking at a grassy field and a deer runs through the grassy field, it doesn't do much, it tramples the grass a little bit, but if the deer runs by and then his whole family comes by over and over, there becomes a trail. And so that visualization is what happens in our brains. It's like as we keep thinking these things over and over and over again, we get these neuropathway superhighways in our brain that all of a sudden become subconscious because we've been thinking a certain way for so long, and then we just operate off of them. And oftentimes when we were kids, a lot of those pathways were brought up in certain ways. Habits, ways of being, unhealthy. But the good news is it can shift and change easily and effortlessly. That's the good news. So we're going to do a little exercise. What I want you to do is just close your eyes. And I want you to bring to mind, bring to your consciousness, a quality you wish to embody more fully. A quality you wish to embody more fully. So maybe it's love, maybe it's peace, maybe it's abundance. Now, you may notice some kind of resistance or maybe a thought that says, oh no. And what I want you to do is to give that thought, that resistance or a block you're noticing, I want you to give it to God. And recognize that God is a place of freedom. And so it happily can take that off your plate and transform it into something else. So just imagine that open sense of freedom because you've given this to the universe, given it to God or Source, you've given up, released that. And now imagine yourself fully embodying this quality. What does it feel like in your body? Quality growing even bigger, expressing even fuller. And as you embody that, how do you move? How do you speak? Let yourself experience it. And now slowly open your eyes. That is it. What did that take? Like 3 minutes? That moment rewired your brain to be in alignment with your truth. And something has shifted in you because of it. Now imagine if you did that every day. Imagine if you did that spiritual practice 3 minutes every day. You're rewiring your brain to the truth of your being that you already know yourself to be because you could feel it. It's already there, seeking to express itself fully as you. That's the good news. And the great news is you can rewire your brain. And so you are in alignment with that truth. It reminds me of autopilot on an airplane. So when they put in the calculations to where it's supposed to go, and they put autopilot on. Now the plane, according to winds or weather or whatever, it shifts like 1 degree off, and autopilot brings it back. Then it shifts 1 degree off, and autopilot brings it back. And so a plane doesn't fly completely in one line. It actually kind of goes like this. But the autopilot recenters it. And that's what that little practice can do for you. It's just a little tiny thing, but it could recenter you to be in that expression, in that action of alignment of who you know yourself to be. So consider, what did you notice during the exercise? How might that impact your daily life? And what other spiritual practices could you engage in? See, spiritual practice doesn't have to be hard. You don't need to sit on a mat for an hour in silence meditating. And if you do, God bless you. Because I don't. But it's really easy and simple. And you can put a little alarm on your phone and have it a little reminder every day. The other thing I wanted to remind you about is that there's an ecosystem that happens with embodiment. And I was taking a class from Tracy Brown. She's a practitioner from Center for Spiritual Living Dallas. She does a lot of trainings around the country, and we had her here. And it was my honor to take the class from her. And she did a class from Namaste to Ubuntu. And I really want to focus on this concept of Ubuntu, because it's a practice that is one that the Zulu tribes in Africa practice. And it means, I am because we are. I am because we are. Which means I grow because of you. My expression is to give to you. And every single person in the tribe has that as their own way of beingness in the world. And it's beautiful because it's what we try and teach here. Our embodiment can be so much more powerful if we do it in community. And we share our gifts with each other. And we support each other. Because the consciousness of a group of people is way more powerful than the consciousness of one person. So if you're interested in thriving in prosperity and you're in the money mastery class, like, you're already part of a huge consciousness of 200 people around the world who are interested in opening to that expression of abundance that already is contained within each and every one of us. Because God is ever present, and abundance is also a synonym for God. Power, love, grace, peace, all of those aspects. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. It knew how to create everything, and it is creating everything simultaneously right now, and it's happening in and through each and every one of us. And we have the power to access that at any time. You don't even have to come into the center on Sunday. It is wherever you are. If you're on the beach, if you're in nature, if you're in your family situations that are coming up as the holiday. Almighty great Creator is here within each and every one of us if we choose to access it. But what I love about this idea of Ubuntu is that our individual growth and embodiment actually doesn't happen in isolation. That we are all part of a larger ecosystem of humanity. We're interconnected. The Ubuntu philosophy teaches us that we're interconnected with others, that our efforts to embody these spiritual truths ripple out to others. And your efforts of embodying spiritual truths ripple out to me. And they compound each other. And so we can access and have transformations and what we call miracles quicker and easier because we're together in a united consciousness. It means that we collectively grow together, that as I grow and I step into that, I am a catalyst for the community to grow. And as you grow, you're a catalyst for the community to grow. It also teaches this idea of responsibility towards others, not just for my own growth, but creating an environment that supports other people to grow. Ask yourself this question: how is my spiritual practice benefiting others? Or how can I create more opportunities for collective growth in my community? Or how can I tap into the collective growth opportunities that are already happening in my community so I can expand and allow that multiplication effect to happen? Not only in my life, but the lives of everybody. We have a morning prayer that happens every day with Reverend Jerry at 7 a.m., and everybody comes together in collective consciousness for prayer. We have a Monday meditation that happens every Monday evening that the practitioners run. All of these are online. These are all things that you online and you here in person, you can tap into. We have classes that are hybrid. We have classes that are online. Whenever you're in a collective group of people that are in alignment, it's like all the oars on the boat go in the same direction, and you move the whole thing together collectively. And that's what we're here to be and express. Your embodiment of spiritual truth doesn't just change you, it has the power to uplift an entire community. They actually did a study in the journal Nature Communications that showed that positive behavior actually can spread through social networks, creating what is called a contagion of cooperation. That's what we're here to be. We're here to be that kind of contagion. There's a story in the Jewish tradition where a rabbi asked his students, how can we determine the hour of dawn, where the night ends and the day begins? And one student said, well, I think it's when you can actually, off in the distance, determine if it's a sheep or a dog out in the distance. And the rabbi said, no, that's not it. And another student said, maybe it's when you could tell the difference between a fig tree and a grapevine. And the rabbi said, no, that's not either. So the student said, well, what is that? What is the answer? And he said, it is dawn when you look into the face of another human being and you have enough light to recognize them as your brother or sister. You recognize them as your family. Until then, it is still night. So that shows that our spiritual growth is intimately connected to each other. And I need to see in you that expression. And when I recognize it, I recognize the God in me. And that's what namaste means, by the way. So I invite you this week to take yourself on, to be in action. Maybe look. But I do encourage you to choose one spiritual principle that you want to embody. One aspect that you want to embody more fully, and spend 3 minutes a day doing that visualization we just did. Very simple, very easy. If you don't do well doing things on your own, I want you to know I have an app that I use, Insight Timer. I did not get paid by them, but I use the app Insight Timer, and it has guided visualizations that are very short, that are very powerful and helpful as well. Or you could just re-listen to the service, whatever you want. Send it to a friend. I don't know. I also encourage you to keep a daily journal of recognizing when you've successfully embodied that principle, that aspect. When you see yourself acting in alignment, celebrate yourself. Have a celebration journal. accountability buddy. You can check in once a week, once a month. Just find somebody else. Grab a friend. Ask them to help you out. I was watching this YouTube video of Trevor Noah and Simon Sinek, and they were talking about the importance of friendship. Like the thing that can change the world is friendship, because loneliness and isolation is at a huge epidemic right now. And he said, the way to build trust and create friendships is to ask for help. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems a little counterintuitive to what I was taught. You mean I have to ask for help to build trust and friendships? Boy, is that uncomfortable. But when somebody feels like they can support you and they step into that, it builds trust for them. So I encourage you to think about asking for an accountability buddy. Ask for help on this journey. Know that we are here as a community to collectively support each other. And it's not just done by me. You know, I can do this talk to myself alone just fine. But it's you that make this a community. You're the one who makes the difference, and I am because we are. Let's pray. I recognize and know that infinite potentiality, the omniscient, almighty, all-knowing, all-loving, wisdom, through and around me. It is guiding me into that fuller, freer expression of myself. That I came here to be a being of love. I came here to express joy. I came here to be a creative avenue in this universe. And that creativity comes from the words, the writings, the meditations of my heart, the love that I express. And I recognize and know that today is the perfect day. Because it is a day that the infinite universe has created for my good, and I claim it now on behalf of myself and on behalf of this community right here and right now. I know that something has shifted within us so that we awaken to that broader sense, that interconnectedness of who we are. And that the actions of alignment and integrity, so I can be that place where I to make them blatantly clear, easy, and effortless, the path of joy and love for each and every one of us in a way that speaks to us individually so we get it. And I know that I don't have to figure that out because the infinite universe already knows how to do it all. And so I just surrender into that deep and abiding knowledge, knowing that it is guiding me on the next step, keeping me centered, on track, in alignment, in absolute coherence with the truth of who I know myself to be. As I claim that for myself, I claim that for each and every person here, each and every person listening online, each and every person around the world who is saying yes to their inner knowing that they were here created to be that expression on this planet right here and right now. As I know this love for this music, for this revelation, I am deeply grateful to know that all is well and it continues to get better and better and better. And for that I'm grateful, and so it is.
Don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out. try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves. Well, you're away. Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out. Or look down. Just try your best. Try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves. Well, you're away. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own. So don't buy in. Just live right now. Yeah, just be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone. It just takes everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out or looked down on. Just try your best. Just try your best. Try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves. Well, you're away. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright.
But first, I want to say hi to our online people who said hello to us. We have SJ in Vancouver, Canada, JL in Port Townsend, Lynn, Perry, Mary, Carol, Charlotte, Carol and Pablo in Madrid, Tonda in Tacoma, Trish, Mira, and my parents in New Mexico. So I do want to say that this community is sustained and continues to blossom and grow because of people like you. And we do, like any nonprofit, ask for your gifts. So as you're considering to give, we wanted to let you know all the different ways you can give. We have a QR code, Venmo, you can text to give, you can go to our website, and you can give. For you here in person, we have seatback envelopes that you can put money in, or a check if you write checks still. I don't think I've written a check in a long time. I have like this checkbook that's all brand new. Or you could put your credit card in there. Meanwhile, I wanted to do a couple of quick announcements. If you want to enhance your spiritual understanding, we have some classes coming up. As I said, today after service, we have Jay doing the spiritual for prayer, and you can use your own prayer. 12:30 free downstairs today in classroom A. In addition, we have Wisdom of the Bible coming up. So James Kress is going to be teaching Wisdom of the Bible, and this is for all the people who, one, maybe you came from a religion where you didn't study the Bible. I know some friends who said their Bibles were like bookends in their bookshelf. They just like held things up. They never actually looked at them. And also other people who maybe were taught that there was a vengeful God. And so this is a class where you can reconcile, maybe you've been beaten up by the Bible. That's not happening here. I can guarantee you. It's an opportunity for you to release that, to surrender that, and find the actual gems in the Bible that have some good messages and are worthy of studying. So Reverend James will be this week on Wednesday. In addition, we have Path to Membership that's coming up. So if you want to make this place your spiritual home and you want to commit yourself to membership, that membership class is going to be on October 6th. You don't have to actually commit to membership to go to the class. The class is about what is membership. And so you can find out more about it if you're curious. And James is also facilitating that on October 6th. We have Beyond Limits that's coming up on October 28th. It's a great, great class. It's transformative, and it does teach some of our basic teachings that help you live a transformed life. So if you haven't taken it, I would encourage you to take it. If you have taken it and it's been a while, I'd encourage you to take it again. I think I took it like 5 times, and then I TA'd it like 3 times. And you know what? The thing is, in our classes, I keep transforming, and I keep changing, and I keep getting new information. And actually, I'll say the philosophy of Ubuntu is very present in classes because I learn so much from the other students in the classes, even when I'm teaching. So it's a really good way to really embody these principles. In addition, I'm doing one of my favorite things to do, which is a Sister Spirit Day Retreat. And that's happening on Saturday, November 30th. We do have early bird registration is open right now. So if you want to grab the early bird registration, I'm very excited. We have Tabor Darland, who is the music director at CSL Bellingham, and our own Jennifer Bundy, who's going to be doing music for the day retreat. We're going to do, if any person who identifies as female or as non-binary is definitely welcome to come to the Sister Spirit Day Retreat. Our theme is a bridge to the radiant soul. Me and my dream team and have a lot of fun. That is the Thanksgiving Day weekend, so maybe you might have family in town. I'm going to bring my mom to the day retreat, so maybe you might want to bring some of your family members to the day retreat. We'd love to have whole families participate, and I think that's all for my announcements. However, we have a really cool video that we're gonna show. It's by Donna, who is a new member as of 2 weeks ago. She lives in Fort Lauderdale. She was in Ireland on the trip, and she really wanted you all to know why she joined as a member and why she's supporting this community. So take it away, Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna. I live in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm a member of the Center for Spiritual Living in Seattle. Like, who thought? Who wouldn't it think? Who knew? But you know what? I've been studying science of mind, religious science, Center for Spiritual Living for 20 years. And one Sunday, and I can't even remember how, somehow I stumbled across the online. And there was this minister there, Kathy Ann Lewis. I don't know if you've heard of her or not. But I started listening, and I thought, these are my people. And I have been hooked. I visit my mother every Sunday afternoon, but Sunday at 12 o'clock my time, because that would be the first service in Seattle, I listen, and And it has really been so meaningful to me that I realized that even though I'm not going to the center in person and hugging people, which is my thing, I had to find a way that I could at least contribute not only my energy and my prayers, but financially, to give, to tithe. And it means so much for me because I want this place to thrive, and I know it can. I'm a part of it, and it's a great place, so that's the way to make it happen. We all got to give.
So thank you to one of our newest members, Donna, who joined us 2 weeks ago as a member. And it has come to our gifts, tithes, and offerings. And I'd love for our usher to please come forward. I don't know who it is today. Where is our usher? Here we go. Thank you so much, Jim. Swami, Jim. Oh, wisdom. Oh, wise one, I admire you. Yes. So here's the idea, that we have our gifts, tithes, and offerings happening right now, and we are happening because of all the people in the past who devoted their financial energy into all of you right now. So if you want to give a gift that expands, I would invite you to hold it over your heart and know with me right now that truly this is a blessing to the world, that we continue to expand and grow in our own consciousness. The revelation that freedom is our birthright, that love is ever present, and that we are fully supported by the universe. To know that this being of humanity of our beingness. And so we share ourselves in order to support this community, this teaching, and the world in a greater sense of well-being, a greater sense of wholeness, and a greater sense of love. And for that, I'm grateful, and so it is. And if you gave online, you can also just bless the basket. Come on up.
I'm Heather, one of your prayer practitioners, and us prayer practitioners invite you to join us online for prayer support right after the service, or if you're here, right over here, we'll have prayer practitioner Sylvia Rose leading you in prayer. So now let's go within. secret place, that secret place of the Most High, dwells always waiting for us to turn Godward, where we are so grateful, so very grateful that as a community, we are whole and all is truly well. And God has got this. Whatever it is, God has got this. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we rest in God, rest in gratitude. That is truly good. And we just let it be. And so it is.
All right, everybody, it's time for the closing sing-along. Please rise as you're able. Please get up on stage as you're able and sing whether you're able to or not. Joe, fire it up.